Get out of here. We're going home. Well, it's 3 a.m. It's getting late. And conversation was interesting, I'd say. Yeah. Well, it was our very first date. But the way we're going, we're crashing and burn. And a wise man said you never learn. You're going way too fast. You're gonna miss the turn. Get out of here. Be on your way.
That was Michelle Johnson with First Date. That's actually one of the first albums she released. I'm going to go ahead and let you tell us the story behind that song, Michelle.
It's been a long time since I wrote that tune. That was released in 2007. I wrote it probably a few years before that. That song's just, it's always been a good opener for the Michelle Johnson Band. The first song on our first CD, it's called First Date. And I guess it's just sort of about a vulnerable girl who doesn't want to be taken advantage of. And in this industry, we're taken advantage of a lot, And I guess I was just thinking that sometimes on a date, things go way too fast, and sometimes when you jump feet first into a relationship, you don't give it time to know each other, So the song sort of goes, you're going to miss the turn, you're going way too fast. I'm not that kind of girl, and I don't know what kind of reputation I might have, but, it's just all about trust, I think.
Right. In this world, I feel like a lot of us feel vulnerable, like every time we step outside of the house, really. Like I feel vulnerable whenever I get into a vehicle for sure. And, I feel like we're in an all or nothing kind of an environment. And so people are like, they have to have that security, I guess. If I have it, it's mine. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you made it beautiful in a song for sure. How long have you been performing?
I've been performing, since the late 90s. My first ever performance was with my first band called the Jewels. Me and a girl named Carmen Menza got together, sort of a grunge band, and it was, at the time, it was Deep Ellum Live. And I got to play on that big stage, and it was really cool. We were all original. Around the time, bands like Veruca Salt and the Breeders and Girls, Whole, and the female-fronted bands were coming along, and the women were picking up their electric guitars, and we were called Riot Girls. And it was a really neat time. And in Dallas, Texas, there was a scene popping down in Deep Ellum, and people were coming out, and they were seeing the live shows, and the girls were really getting into it, and the guys too. But that was my first opportunity for performing. Actually, my very first performance as an individual singer-songwriter was just at a little restaurant bar called I think it was called Shells in the Highland Park area. And they liked me. They let me come in there and play my acoustic guitar and do my originals, and it was pretty cool.
I've noticed in Texas that a lot of restaurants have solo artists. It's been kind of awesome to see, because I'm originally from the Illinois area, and We have a lot of music out there, but it's not. It's more of like in the barn or the garage. It's not.
Well, I mean, a lot of people get started singing for their supper. You know what I mean? Like, we'll give you a couple of beers and you can order off the menu and come in here and sing and get some performance, um, you know,
Experience.
experience. Thank you. Thank
Some
you. Yeah,
stage time. Get some stage time. Get rid of those jitters.
exactly.
Yeah, and it's good to support small businesses like that too, and to start that way. I mean, like to give in order to receive is a good way to get. And I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten that, you know, the giving and the receiving, that it's all about the getting. And to bring that up is important occasionally.
Well, I mean,
So what? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you're a true musician, it's what you do. And the money is, you don't really do it for the money at first. You just want to do it. So playing
Right.
playing concerts for free to get exposure is definitely part of the deal when you're a young artist. I'm not young anymore. I'm definitely seasoned at this point.
Hey, everything is better with a little bit of seasoning, that's for sure.
That's right.
I had a little bit of time where I had like no seasoning in my food. Like when I switched my diet up at first, uh, that was horrible. Like it was like all vegetables, no seasoning. I was like, no, doc, I need potatoes. I need potatoes. I need potatoes.
Hallelujah.
What would you say inspired? Who would you say inspired your style of music?
Um, you know, I don't really copy anyone. I do have some favorites. When I started writing songs, I was just a little girl. I came from a musical family, and we did that's what we did for fun, is write songs and perform them for our family. But as I got older, I started getting away from the country gospel and the country music that was bred in me, and I started going toward more of a rock and roll uh, way of life. And I got into grunge for a while, and the Kurt Cobains and the Chris Cornells, and the Robert Plant and everything. That was one of the things. Those were like my favorites. But the girls from Heart, they played their own instruments. They were the female fronted. Everyone loved them. I loved Heart. But as I started writing my own songs and performing, and then our first album came out, people started saying, Pretenders. They said, you sound like the Pretenders. We hear Chrissy Hines in you. And so if you will kind of go back in time and listen to the early stuff of the Pretenders and Chrissy Hines and the way she wrote, her vocal stylings, I think that on this first album, I probably was closer to, if you wanted an influence or something it sounded like, I think I probably sounded more like her. Now, as I am older and writing new tunes, the influences, I don't copy anyone. It just all comes out of my heart. So if it sounds like somebody, maybe somehow I'm channeling it or something like that. But I've never once ripped off a riff. And so now I
Right.
can just say that I look up to people and performers and artists, and when I'm teaching my lessons, my guitar lessons, and my guitar student, Anna, I try to bring her to the forefront of these female guitar players, these songwriters. And we really love Fleetwood Mac, and we really love Stevie Nicks. We even love Dolly Parton. She was a warrior, Loretta Lynn.
Right.
Things like that. You know, people that kind of push the limits, talked about stuff in their songs that maybe, you know, at least back then, you know, it probably was a little politically incorrect. But I'm the
Right.
kind of person who I might wear a black hat because I'm going to sing and talk about things that are real. And reality is not always just, you know, beer and roses. You know what I mean?
No,
So
absolutely.
my content might be a little more politically incorrect, but I do have some songs that are fun and happy too. But you know, I like those ladies that were the Riot Girls, and actually Loretta Lynn and Dolly Parton were considered some of the early Riot Girls, but Chrissy Hines was probably the first real rocking chick that came out with her electric guitar and said, "I'm going to do whatever I want to do." You know.
Heck yeah. We are going to do a little something here and move into a preview of your next song, Sound on the Stage.
We're going to be performing this song this coming Friday at Trees.
Heck yeah. Let's talk about that gig here in a few.
If I made you a promise and then I took it away, would you trust any other with the words that you say? Well, you think you're so sweet and savvy. Well, you're never at your age. Well, that ain't as heavy as sound on the stage. And I'm hitting the road, I'm hitting the road, I'm hitting the road right now. I'm hitting the road, I'm hitting the road, I'm hitting the road, and I'm on and on.
This Friday night, you said you're playing it's in Dallas?
It's in Dallas, in Deep Ellum, and it's at the infamous venue named Trees. And it's going to be an all-female fronted lineup. Michelle Johnson Band is playing. I am going to be plugged in with my electric guitar, and I haven't done that in a while. I have a new band, and that we started talking about getting together, and then all of a sudden I got an invite to do this show. So these guys are pros, and we're bringing it. We're bringing it live. We're gonna be electric. It's not the acoustic Michelle this time. So we're excited. I'm doing a song off my first album, Sound on the Stage. I'll be doing one off my second album, Struck by Lightning, the song called Bad Dream. And then we'll be doing a new tune that we're recording on our third album called Smokin' Hot. So I'm trying to give a little bit of all the original songs, and then we'll do a few covers too. Rhiannon being one Fleetwood Mac tune that we bought the rights to and recorded, so we'll do it Michelle Johnson Band style. And
nice.
I've got tickets for sale. They're $15 a piece. People don't really love buying pre-sale tickets anymore like they used to. They're not flying like they used to.
Where do you have them listed? We need to get them on your website.
Yeah, we do. I did on the Michelle Johnson Band page here on Facebook. I actually did where I have my event, and then I did a post about it. I've been sharing it. My band's been sharing it. We have sold tickets. I just but we need to sell more tickets this week.
Right. Well, we can get it on your website when we get off of here. That way they can just go to michellejohnsonband.com and grab the tickets and find the location. It'll be GPS. You can just click on the link and go to wherever the show's at. Whenever you need help with that, just let me know. If you guys check out michellejohnsonband.com, I actually helped her set that site up. If you need a site, we do those on the real down low. I would do them for free if they didn't cost my health, and I still don't charge enough for sure, but it's a huge tool for artists to have, especially if you're releasing music and you want to get some of that money back. Them being able to download the songs directly off of your website is where you need to be sending them instead of building someone else's brand. Anyway, so you're playing at Trees, and you said that it was an all women. How many women are performing? You said that it was an all woman.
Yeah, there's I think 4 different bands actually. Jaro Entertainment is doing this. Let's see, we have Melissa and Jess. Thirsty Trio. And the headliner is Katie Lynn. She's getting a lot of promotion these days. And of course, the Michelle Johnson Band. I had originally thought I was going to do an acoustic show before the band said, no, we want to do the show with you. So I think we'll probably go on around 8:30 or 9 o'clock. The show, I think doors open at 7:30. Show starts at 8. There'll be an acoustic set before us, I believe, and then I think we'll be second since we're electric. But I don't know. I mean, the guy from Jaro Entertainment, Jeff Shaddle, he said, we're going to give you a sound check. I'm like, okay, we'd love to be first. It doesn't really matter. I just wanted to be early in the lineup because I have to leave right after the show and drive to Quinlan to do hair and makeup for a wedding the next day. So I wanted it to be, I didn't want to have to be there really late. So that's why we chose the earlier slots. But Trees get started early these days. People aren't wanting to stay out until, the wee hours for these kind of shows. So it's a really cool showcase of the women with a rock genre. Of course, I do country rock as well. And on this first album that you're playing songs off of, we could have gone either way. We could have gone rock or country. We just sort of had to decide which flag we were going to fly. We chose rock. We ended up kind of being more of a metal band there for a little while pre-COVID. But now that I do a lot more acoustic tunes, a lot more acoustic shows. My songs have more of a classic rock feel and just a southern rock feel. And some are just kind of country rock. So we're going to try to do all of that for you at Trees this Friday. And you can buy tickets at the door. And
nice. Sounds like a great time. And being able to hear like different artists like all in the same day is a lot of fun. Especially if you're planning on like staying for an extended period at one spot, which is typically the safest bet.
Oh, I was going to tell you about Sound on the Stage, the song that you just played. I'm sorry I got long-winded. That song, I had just broken up with a beautiful man, a country musician, and it just wasn't working out for us to be long-term lovers, and I was really torn up about it. And my friend said, you need to listen to some Hank Williams. So Hank Williams got me through that breakup, and I actually wrote that song inspired by Hank Williams. And the boyfriend at the time, like I said, was a country musician. But little did he know later on, when I recorded this song, I asked him to come in and play harmonica for the tune. I wanted it to sound like a lonesome train, a train whistle blowing and off in the background. And he played, that's him, Chris Miller. He played the harmonica on that song. And it was just kind of funny how he didn't know that that song was really about our breakup. So anyway, I thought that was cute.
That's funny. Yeah, absolutely. No, we want to know the story behind the song, absolutely, because we want to know where it came from. We want to get to know our artists, and um, I think that it helps people understand the song when they hear it and they know like, oh, and then they can relate more with it as well. Um, I know that we were going to play one more song by you as well, and let everyone get back to their lunch break. I know that my little grandbaby is about to get dropped off. You want to tell us the story behind Cold Insane?
Cold Insane. Well, Cold Insane was the song about kind of my divorce song. It was a song that it came from the bottom of my soul, and basically when I was writing this song, I would cough. I would cough and it would make me sick. And I would cry. But at the end of the day, it was the song that healed me. And Cold Insane, man, it was just sort of, it's just kind of a song about somebody who might have been broken but persevered through that to see a brighter day. And basically
I think
some things just don't
a
make sense.
lot of America can relate to that one.
I mean,
we've all had, traumatic experiences and times in our lives where we just were like, especially after September 11th, a lot of us, and then COVID, man, there's definitely some relation in the stories behind the songs that we hear.
Yeah. I come from like I said, I come from a musical family. I'm from Arkansas. So that, the hills of Arkansas are, when I go there, I feel like that's where I belong. And there's something about this song that reminds me of my upbringing. But the river of Cold Insane, it talks about the river of Cold Insane. And I don't know if that's where we go to heal, if that's where we go to bathe our sins away, but that's what the song's about. It's the divorce. It's a divorce.
Right, well, give it a listen.
I burned for a while. I learned all the lessons. I came to conclusions about all these illusions, but I never gave up on that hope or potential, and I only received cold insane. Bittersweet, home incomplete. Forever built on this day. A woman complains with standing shame, but she's an understanding, hard-working day.